Hey, one and all, everyone, it's Wednesday. Man, wow. No, it's Thursday. Holy crap. It's Rumor and Innuendo. I'm Dominic D'Angelo. This is Ad Free Shows, and I am here with Robert Karplus, WD Creative _ish. Robert, you're looking a little festive with that sweater. I kind of like it.
This is just I grabbed a sweater and threw it on. No reason for festiveness.
Hmm.
It's Monday.
Is that a Star Wars thing? Yeah, it's Star Wars, right?
It is a Star Wars sweater. Yes, it was an
Ooh.
ugly Christmas sweater I had got years ago. We don't. It doesn't get cold here most days of the year in South Florida. Right now it's like 40.
Holy
And that
crap.
is like for South Florida. Yeah, this world is not. They are not built for this. Mainly, I'm not even particularly cold. I had to go do blood this morning, so and they took a whole crap load of blood out of you, and you're just like, you feel like crap. So, but I'm here to do some rumor and innuendo, rain, sleet, snow, or hail, or any of that. Do want to start off the show by saying, obviously, we're thinking about all the folks over in Los Angeles, out in California, dealing with those wildfires. We have some friends close to us that are obviously going through this right now. Shout out to Mike Lawrence, co-host of Working Stiff. I know him and his family are dealing with the fire issues, as well as a number of other people who are out there in Los Angeles. But wanted to start it out by saying that, and then we can move into me giving you crap for you thinking today is Wednesday.
That's right. Yeah. No, definitely thoughts, prayers out to everybody out there in Los Angeles and South California there. And hope everything, smooths out a little bit. Yeah, very devastating. Can't describe it that in that way. So,
It is kind of wild just to think about. Like, Raw was just obviously there for the
yeah.
Netflix premiere on Monday in Los Angeles, and this is right now. This is sort of Hollywood season.
Mhm.
The idea that you had the Golden Globes, there's supposed to be the Critics' Choice Awards coming up, People's Choice Awards, building towards the Oscars. There's a lot of activity, a lot of hubbub going on, a lot of things in active production right now, and then this just stops everything.
Yeah.
And in Florida, we get hurricanes, which are devastating, but you usually get a pretty good lead time
Hmm.
when you know and you can prepare for it. It does not feel like with this fire anybody was really able to accurately gauge or predict the way the winds are and the conditions. Um, yeah,
Tough times. Yeah. Best wishes out to everybody out there. We're thinking of you. Hopefully, we can be a good distraction for everybody out there. And let's distract ourselves with a little bit of AEW, the Dynamite, Roberts. We had Kenny Omega making his return, and they let it go till the end of the show. But there's a lot of good show I thought to cover this week. What did you think of Dynamite?
this was a great show in search of a great audience.
Hmm.
I think Clarksville, this arena that was there, this was a small arena that they built not that long ago, actually, near Nashville. And the idea was to be able to host events just like this. And this is exactly the sort of building AEW would be geared for. That you're not going to want to go run the Bridgestone Arena in Nashville. That's a very large venue. So you can fill a smaller building, make it feel more intimate, make that crowd sound that much louder, that much more engaged. And AEW gave them a great show with a number of moments that they should have bit on, and that crowd was not there to make noise.
Yeah. That was a kind of a telling thing about it all because there was plenty of reasons to make noise. I think last night when it comes to what Dynamite put on and AEW did. So yeah, I was a little surprised by that too. Threw me off. But I thought what they did. Hey, leading off with Will Ospreay and Buddy Matthews. That was one way to try to get the crowd into it. That's for sure.
Great match. It was clearly serving a number of different purposes. They tried very hard to justify this match and the idea that Brody King lost to lost to Will Ospreay in the Continental Classic. So Buddy Murphy is there to avenge his House of Black brethren. We know that Buddy is a tremendous wrestler, and obviously Will Ospreay is second to none out there. The match was great. It was about 16, 17 minutes. It went back and forth, and then after the match, there was the Will Ospreay promo where he's putting over Buddy as being a great talent who doesn't need a stable, and the rumor and innuendo,
Yeah.
Mr. D'Angelo, is that Malachi, don't call me Aleister Black, may be wrapping up with AEW if he has not already done so.
Yeah, don't call him Alistair yet because, yeah, according to Fightful, I'll just jump over to that just real quick. Fightful said those that we spoke with too in the company were of the belief that he was finishing up with AAW if he hadn't already. They did not clarify if he'd be appearing on TV again. Robert, he's already kind of taking indie dates, I noticed too. So
He is booked for the Coastal Championship Wrestling show in Tampa.
wow,
They're Havoc and Hayes 9 on January 11th, this Saturday. Good people at Coastal Championship Wrestling. They helped.
Fonzie Daddy, Fonzie, he's gonna
I
be
was,
there.
damn it, Dom. I
Were
was
you
trying to
were
be
you
polite.
plugging it? Were you
No,
plugging
I
it?
was going to plug something. They actually CCW has helped with the Boca Raton Championship Wrestling
Oh,
shows. Great crew, great group of guys there. No, I was not going to plug Fonzie.
yeah, Daddy. Go check out Fonzie there. He loves CCW too, and he's gonna be there as well. So should be a fun show. Yeah, Malachi Black, baby.
I think Malachi Black. Obviously, we would all hope to see him in WWE again. I think that there'd be a real strong opportunity for him either on the main roster or back in NXT working with some of the young talent they had there. It is worth noting now, since we're not really going to have a chance elsewhere in there, NXT did a monster rating with the obviously revealing that The Rock was going to be there, but it was a very smart, calculated decision to have The Rock be there by crowning new champions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Listen, to think about, this was the highest rating they got since September of 2019. So when they were a neck and neck with AEW at the time, and now they've surpassed them in the ratings by a very big number. So yeah, hats off to NXT and the marketing strategy that came with it, bringing The Rock in there and making it feel big. So good stuff.
Look, and I think Droy J has a really good point here about Malachi leaving. It says, you have to click it because I
Oh
can't,
yeah,
because
that's right.
I'm the weird logged in thing here. But it was a bummer on underutilized being Malachi Black. But if we get more Buddy and Brody, it's an okay trade off. Absolutely. I think that's something that we've talked about, that they have a lot of the right pieces in AEW. They're just not necessarily utilizing them. And some of the folks they are utilizing, some whom we saw in the Casino Gauntlet match, they probably don't need. So utilizing Buddy in the way that he looked here, utilizing Brody King as a big monster, I'm all for it. I don't understand or know what was going on with Malachi, but I don't know.
Look, I think it's a win for everybody across the board here. Like, they weren't utilizing Malachi to the best of his abilities or their abilities to do it. And, whatever personal differences or whatever. But I think moving on, and if you're elevating Buddy and you're elevating Brody King in the same turn, I think that's great for AEW. And it's great for Malachi that he gets this opportunity to kind of go back to WWE and I think really elevate his game. You mentioned NXT. I almost think you could put him right in WWE again and just make him feel like that big deal. Almost not to the level of a Cody when he returned, but you can have him that pomp and circumstance you can build with that entrance that he had and everything.
You absolutely could. I think the only hesitation that there might be with the Malachi Black presentation is you do already have the Wyatt Six
Sure.
and Final Testament, and then there's also sort of the idea that Damian Priest coming off Judgment Day is supposed to have that sort of aura about him. So
Right.
I thought maybe NXT is a good place to tuck him, but I have no problem saying, yeah, put him on the main roster, yesterday. We saw
Kevin Dunn.
Private Party apparently are the tag champions.
Yeah, I liked kind of what they did here. I would have took, and I get they were going to have a match, so a tag match or Bobby Lashley's match came up. But like, if they're going to present Private Party in this way, I like it. With I think they should have been doing this for years to come to build them to where they are. But I would have had this kind of thing in the ring almost to put it in the entrance way where fans could probably barely see them. Was kind of weird, but I like the thought behind it, I guess. But yeah,
I didn't mind the placement. They've had that stupid sort of VIP lounge, which by the way was MVP's gimmick for
Yeah.
years, and the podcast that he used to host with Alex Greenfield, and it was a great podcast. But I liked that it was the menace of having Lashley and Benjamin and MVP there towering over these guys. But what's sort of strange is I don't think there's any world or scenario where we don't think that Bobby Lashley could absolutely curb stomp both of them quickly. So
Yeah.
as tag champions, they don't feel threatening. They don't feel like, oh, this is a credible match. This feels like two dudes who are going to get eaten alive in the hopes that maybe we now restart the tag division with Lashley and Shelton Benjamin.
Yeah, it seemed like yeah, they put the effort into building Private Party up here to, give them the tag team championships. And here, it's like they already have set contenders that can clearly visually take them out. Robert, you're getting a lot of praise for this sweater, by the way. Devin Dowling, sick sweater, Robert. And then coming in late, Robert looking dapper. How about that?
Look at that. Well, threw it on for a moment. It'll probably won't even stay on past this show. I just was like, you know what, it's fine. It's cool here. We'll put this on. I mean, the Droid J also hits where I was about to go with that until you interrupted me with Sweatergate, which was Shelton and Bobby versus Brody and Buddy. That feels like the matchup. Suddenly now your tag division that has been so stagnant, has big names in it who are going after those tag titles. I think that would be really interesting. Obviously, you can take off the comment, begging. It's moving you away from it's the Young Bucks and then whatever team we throw in to put in there. And Lashley and Shelton versus FTR would be a pretty good matchup if we're being honest. Private Party are another group who this duo wins these tag titles, and then they don't really get spotlight time again on Dynamite. Yes, they've been used on Collision and on Rampage, but the ratings have proven, and what gains traction has proven, that if it happens on Dynamite, people tend to pay attention to it. Something that did happen on Dynamite was the Casino Gauntlet match.
Yeah, and as expected, Jay White let it off, but then they had heavy hitters coming in from Hangman Page, Adam Cole, Ricochet, Powerhouse Hobbs. So it was, I thought what they did, like, it kind of lived up to the format of the match when you're telling some stories here and you're getting some stuff. It's like the mini Royal Rumble where you get storylines strung throughout, and ultimately it's Powerhouse Hobbs who gets the win. And he will be facing Jon Moxley next week at Maximum Carnage for that AEW World Championship. What'd you think of this match here, Robert?
A lot of surprises in terms of some of the interactions and who ultimately won. One of the surprises for me was that there was no surprise return. There was no debut. We've seen this in the Casino Gauntlet before. There's been oh my gosh, we got so-and-so. Didn't happen here. Not saying you necessarily need that every time. And I like that it did not go to all 21 competitors to once again hammer home this idea of where you are placed in this match actually matters. We all kind of thought on here this was going to be Jay White, that Jay White was going to be the guy to win this and get to a match. This felt like an audible. I don't think this was the original plan for this, given how Hobbs has been booked of late. But let's jumpstart something. Let's give this guy a chance. We were talking about even after his Takeshita match on the World's End pay-per-view, like, this is a guy who could be a major player. A lot of Undisputed Kingdom in this match. Those guys are the ones where I'm going, if you're not using House of Black, why are we using these guys? Didn't really need it. Jarrett getting taken out by Wheeler Yuta, kind of funny.
It reminded me Royal Rumble 1998 when he came out. Remember that happening? He got taken out. I can't remember who took him out. Was it Owen? Owen.
It was Wheeler Yuta.
No.
Time traveling Wheeler Yuta.
How about that? Yeah, I liked the match. I thought it's interesting, because the expectation was it was going to be Jay White, but no, Powerhouse Hobbs doing it. I want to believe that this will be a moment to elevate Hobbs and continue to make him a big focus. They did give him the promo after the match and stuff like that, but you can see it going either way. Hopefully he doesn't get pushed to the back again. When it comes to how they've been booking him. So I would like to see them continue to make him a hot act and elevate him, what they seem to be doing here with the embers of Buddy and Brody King too. So let's hope.
I think it's kind of adorable that you think that they're actually going to figure out a way to get behind Hobbs.
I'm a cautious optimist.
No, I think part of the thing was what was interesting in this match was they brought out Archer, whom we have not seen on TV for quite some time. They repeated a lot of spots. Hobbs laying at everybody, everyone bouncing off of him. Then Archer, everybody bouncing off of him. We're like, all right, we've seen it. I did like the novel spot where they were throwing Ricochet back and forth, like he was like an inanimate object.
Yeah,
that was kind of interesting. The Hobbs promo was, as soon as he said, we're going to shoot for a minute, I'm like, oh no. But it was, I'm going to shoot. Moxley's the guy who brought me in. I don't quite understand how that's a shoot, but sure. And then it was, I'm going to make him my bitch while saying this to Renee, who's Moxley's wife.
That's a good point. I didn't even...
Quite adorable. It's quite funny. And then Jarrett came wandering out. Again, we're giving you stories coming out of this battle royal. So Jarrett, given his golly gosh gee aw shucks routine 2 weeks in a row.
I am excited for this feud.
You would be.
I am really excited for it, actually. MJF. I think MJF.
I wasn't talking about MJF's part. I was talking about just the early thing, the Jeff Jarrett once again doing the, well, I don't know if the last outlaw is going to be able to saddle up and ride again. Well, you just cut this promo a week ago, Jeff. Well, so,
Robert, I'm a huge fan of veteran players, veteran athletes, like Vince Carter in his later days. Obviously, I'm a huge Vinny Testaverde fan, being a Jets fan. I like when older guys get that last chance, Robert. And so I'm all for Jeff Jarrett here.
Yeah, Jarrett had that last chance when he founded TNA, when he was an old man then. So, like, now it's just... I don't think that anybody necessarily is clamoring to see Jeff Jarrett become world champion. I think that you stop pointing at yourself. And it's also kind of challenging to be like, Jarrett's the grizzled old veteran who's looking for one more chance when your world title picture is Jon Moxley and Adam Copeland and Christian.
Yeah, but Jeff's a generation above them, right?
Like he is, but to some fans, they're all kind of gelled together from that same time. Like, Edge and Jeff Jarrett are attitude era guys to a lot of people. And the nuance of it, the best defense is not, no, I'm much older than you think I am. MJF was masterful in what he was trying to do. That crowd was not giving him anything to work with. The narrative of, you know what, I could have entered this gauntlet battle royal. I don't want to. That's a lot of work. There's a whole lot of people going after that world title. I don't want to mess with Moxley. I don't want to mess with Hobbs. I don't want to deal with Adam Copeland or Hangman or Jay White or any of that. So, Jarrett, you go beat Moxley, and I'll find a way to cheat and help you. And then when you win, I get the first title shot, and I can sure as hell beat you easier than I can the Death Riders. It's not bad. Took some decent shots at Jarrett. And then Jeff, you can't out-Carney a Carney.
MJF has clearly shown homage to Memphis wrestling in the past with his Fargo strut and stuff like that, even before Jarrett came to AEW and everything like that. So I think MJF is going to be invested in this feud, whatever they decide to do with it. And Jarrett will be too. I think this is something I'm really excited for. I am. Mm-hmm. Yes, Robert.
Cope was next. But before that, the thing you have to cope with, guys, whether it is winter, spring, summer, or fall, is body odor. Mm-hmm. Dom, I'm glad I'm over here because I'm pretty sure you would stink, but for Mando.
Oh, yeah. Yes. Okay. You want...
Good Lord.
Mando, guys.
You literally messaged me before the show, and you're like, hey, after the Jarrett, because I never let Dom do the ad reads. He forgot to give me the ad read copy, and he's like, I'm going to do the Mando. After the Jarrett thing, I'll do Mando. So I made sure to remember we're going to throw to that.
He teed it up. I thought you had for some reason, I just assumed, hey, maybe Robert's got the copy.
Dom stinks at reading promos, but you know what doesn't stink?
Mando,
Using Mando. Dom, you have the copy. I'm begging you. I'm begging.
I love Mando. Mando, I've been using the Mount Fuji since I got it. I bought a starter pack for my nephews for Christmas. They love it. And I know Robert loves it. I think he got the bourbon leather, correct, Robert? Is that what the one you got?
I was a big fan of that, yes.
Yeah. So it's whole body deodorant, and it's safe to use anywhere on your body. Created by a doctor who saw firsthand normal BO was misdiagnosed and mistreated. So all products are baking soda free and paraben free. There's so much good stuff about Mando that you can like. Kind of a low key adult scent, I would say, more so than like, hey, I'm gonna spray the Axe all over me or anything like that.
Did someone say low key?
Oh my God, that's a good one. Mando's starter pack is perfect for new customers. It comes with a solo solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, 2 free products your choice, like a mini body wash and deodorant wipes. I really like the bar of soap, so if you have that option, do that. But you also get free shipping. As a special offer for listeners, new customers get $5 off a starter pack with our exclusive code. That equates to over 40% off of your starter pack. Just use code RUMOR at shopmando.com. That's shopmando.com. Please support our show and tell them that me and Robert sent you. Smell fresher, stay drier, and boost your confidence from head to toe with Mando. All right.
Someone who was feeling overconfident was Cope. Yeah. He came out there to talk about, I guess the takeaway is he's a reckless wrestler who keeps getting hurt in the ring.
That's kind of what I
wrestled Eddie Guerrero. I broke my neck, and I still won. I wrestled Malachi Black. I broke my leg, and I still won. Maybe work safer.
My takeaway from this, Robert, was the devastation that the Death Riders have put over all of AEW. They took out FTR. They threw Darby down the steps, but I'm assuming Darby might return next week. I don't know.
I thought Darby was going to return in this segment.
Yeah. They're
like, Darby got murdered. I'm like, oh, he's 100% coming back right now.
He's right behind the curtain right now. Look, again, we said this last week. Just kill this thing with fire. It's ended.
No, don't give Moxie the idea to use fire, because he will use fire. But good news, they brought the bag.
They did bring the bag. They brought the bag, and look,
and then it gave them an excuse for Hobbs to go and make a save.
Sure.
And create an association with Cope and Hobbs and FTR, so they're all together fighting the Death Riders, so that when Moxley and crew do something dastardly to Hobbs next week, Cope can run in and make the save, and we can get that match at, I'm guessing, Australia.
When is that show? Do you know?
You're the producer guy. You're the fact check guy. I show up occasionally in a sweater, and I just talk about what it is that you want to talk about and try to throw to promos that you can't seem to throw to. But what there was after this, for the sake of time and my own sanity, this moment, there was a Mariah May, Harley Cameron backstage thing, which I thought was actually pretty entertaining. And then a Tony Storm, Chris Statlander, Willow Nightingale match to determine the number one contender for the women's Casino Gauntlet.
Yeah. So, look, if you're going to showcase 3 stars, I'm not against having Tony Storm, Willow Nightingale, and Chris Statlander in a match. So
these are 3 incredible women who should be bolstering up their women's division.
Absolutely. But the unfortunate thing, Robert, is when we got to this match, it's just like, wow, it took this long to get to a women's match and segment and everything like that. It just kind of made me think a little bit about it.
The only thing that they could have done differently, and I had that same thought too, is you could have taken that Mariah Harley Cameron pre-tape and moved that to the beginning of the show. It could have been the Ospreay Buddy Murphy match, and then the Lashley Briscoe match, and then you could have done the Harley Cameron Mariah May video. Instead, they kind of sandwiched it all here, and then at the end of the show, Kenny, by God, Omega came out.
He did. He was dressed very toned down, wasn't he? And he had
a subdued dress, which is fine. That segment is a great example, kids, of why you need A, a good crowd, and B, good commentators. All due respect to Matt Menard and Excalibur and Ian Riccaboni, but the way Menard was saying that he was getting emotional over this felt like a heel. Like this was like Corey Graves talking about Chelsea Green's U.S. title coronation. Like, I'm getting a little choked up. I'm getting a little emotional here. I don't know. Oh, what a moment. And then it was like there was nothing to be choked up or emotional about because you had this situation where Kenny Omega returned successfully over the weekend. He looked better than he has looked in quite some time. He already told the I'm risking my life and now I am back story. This was just odd. It's, he's recounting again the diverticulitis piece.
Yeah.
We know that story. You literally just told it to us not that long ago. The idea that, I might not be the same man, we know is BS because we just watched you wrestle probably a 17-star match at Tokyo Dome. Also, this idea of I'm back and I don't have any grudges felt like The Rock's promo on Netflix, where it's like, shout out to Cody, shout out to Roman. And then the idea that you were like, I don't have any grudges, so I forgive the Elite, I forgive everybody. It's kind of odd.
I can buy into that just because you're near death kind of thing. I think that could give you a bit of an epiphany, like, I'm just gonna let it go. I'm a new man. I could buy into that a little bit.
Oh, and I do want to point out, because I can't click on comments, but Droid J, who's trying to be a smart ass, and I appreciate it, goes, what happened to, if it didn't happen on Dynamite, it didn't happen. Good sir, there was a video package on this show recapping the Kenny Omega appearance at New Japan, and then they put over how they stole the show. Commentators were talking about how they stole the show. So as far as Dynamite continuity happens, it happened. It absolutely happened. And then Don Callis comes out for reasons, because remember, we're basically building to Okada and Omega. Before he can really even talk, which I'm a fan of, stopping him from talking, we get an attack. They throw out Kyle Fletcher and Brian Cage, and we get a save from Will Ospreay. That's right, Will Ospreay. And then they have an Ospreay Kenny Omega stare down to remind you, hey, this is a match we can give you guys. We're going to tease you, remind you can get Okada, you can get Kenny Omega, Will Ospreay. We still have big matches to deliver in this coming year, 2025. From that perspective, I liked this being a statement of we're moving on. Let's just focus on the stuff we can deliver going forward.
And I also like the fact too, you'd want to think that, hey, you want to put Kenny in the world title picture, but this Jon Moxley Death Riders thing is a death. So to associate him with that at the moment, I don't think is the best move to build up Kenny Omega. So square him off against somebody like Ospreay, who kicked off the show, cut a great babyface promo for Buddy Matthews. I think it's the right move there. Just not really intrigued by, hey, I can't wait for that Continental Championship match. So,
yeah, well, something I definitely can't wait for is the new episode of Working Stiff. Myself and Scott Chapham, we're going to be talking all things the Dynamite, the Netflix Hogan fallout, and all sorts of other nonsense. That'll be up and available wherever you get your audio podcast, or the same place you can get the audio version of this show, in case you missed the video, or you just don't want to stare at this sweater that I instantly regret putting on.
A lot of people do.
Yes, but Kevin Kellum with the hot take here at the end of the show. Friend of the show, guest host. The Death Riders are just not working out. Yes, I noticed that Wheeler Yuta was looking a little soft. So thanks for body shaming Kevin Kellum at the end of this show. But you can catch us every Monday through Friday at noon Eastern on a plethora of platforms, including the WWE Creative _IS Stage X account, the at SE Scoops X account, the at Dominic D'Angelo X account, and on YouTube on Rumor and Innuendo, Working Stiff, and ad-free shows. On behalf of my sweatered brethren, Dominic D'Angelo, I'm Robert Karplas. Best of luck in your future endeavors.
Stay warm out there, everybody. Take care of yourselves and each other.